Hello, you beautiful sinners. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Psynergic, and today we're watching Hellevator by Stray Kids. So I watched this yesterday, and the file ended up being really ridiculous and basically uneditable. So I'm re-recording. You guys know I like to be open and honest with you about this stuff, so there it is. I had to wait a day. I was so frustrated, but you know, it happens. And it was either I just let it be and don't ever upload it, or I re-record it. I teetered back and forth on that one, but I decided to re-record because I had such a good discussion about things, and I wanted to at least capture some of that because the lyrics of this song are pretty freaking awesome. So I'm gonna watch this again. I'm gonna chat about things at the end. If you guys like the content, like, subscribe, all that other stuff. And without further ado, let's watch some Hellevator again. This is a song that I could watch multiple times anyways, so it's so cool that this is their pre-debut too. I can see exactly why they took off. Boys. I do like boys. Twink Chang Bin. Oh my god. Sung Min. God, I love this sound. It's look at little IN. Ah! Oh, look at them. Here we go. Yeah, Hyunjin. Get it. Get it. Oh my god. They look like little babies. Look at little Sung Min. I hate it. I hate it. Get it, Felix. Get it, Felix. Protect him. Oh my god, he's such a twink. Actually, they're all really just twinks. Except for maybe Bang Chan, they all look like little twinks in this one. They're adorable. I hate it. Like, that's an amazing song, especially like a pre-debut. The thing about Three Racha, which I did have to search that up. I kind of knew pretty instantly who wrote the lyrics, but I wanted to make sure the first time, and it was pretty obvious to me that Three Racha made it. And this is the reason why. They do an excellent job of talking about things very specific to them, yet they talk about it in a broad enough way that we can all kind of identify with it to a certain extent. Even if you're not, you know, an artist or an idol or even a content creator, you can still kind of identify with it. In particular, in this, they're talking about the pressure of trying to succeed. The beautiful thing about this song in particular is we pretty much start off in a pretty dark place, which is, I think, pretty indicative of, you know, this is a pre-debut song originally. We've all heard the perils of being a trainee. And we've also heard the stories from Chan himself talking about how much of a dark place he was in before he found the kids. But I do want to go through these lyrics because they tell a story. We start off with my life's at rock's bottom cliff. I'm walking in a dark tunnel. I'm holding up. So like I'm going through this tunnel. It's dark. What do you think about whenever you're hearing that? I think about like this. Do you guys remember the series Hotel Del Luna? I watched it, I don't know, it's probably about a year ago now. And that tunnel that they take people through, right? With the ghosts, as they're moving on, it kind of reminds me of that, except, you know, at night and not cameras lighting it up. Like, it's very damp, drippy. I'm gonna be honest, like, if you've ever experienced depression or like pretty extreme sadness, you probably can understand that a little bit. So right off the bat, they're talking very specific because, again, we know the story now. Maybe not at the time, but we know the story now of where that headspace was for Chan and maybe some of the other ones, but it's broad enough that we can all kind of identify with it, right? The cruel, dreadful day alone, my school hallways fading away, growing up on this familiar way. I'm so unlucky. I don't have any map to tell me if this road is right. You never do. There's no way to go up. What I've been through is a maze I never want to go back to. I'm comforting myself, shedding blood and sweat instead of blood and tears. They tell me such hills are just passing showers. If you want success, put snares that are called failures. So yes, I bite the baits that are called pain. I'm wandering around with exhausted wings of passions temporarily folded. You know, this is very allegorical, right? But it is talking about probably, like, again, their experiences. Like, we've all heard how difficult being a trainee is, and this is really getting to that, shedding blood and sweat instead of blood and tears. What I've been through is a maze. I never want to go back. I'm so unlucky. Like, this is pretty dark too. Like, this isn't giving you like warm and good feels. Like, this is telling you I've just been through some stuff, man. But then, like, we go into the chorus. I think we go into less of an allegory. I think we go more into a little bit more specific examples of like what was going on maybe at the time. So there's nothing for me. Nobody really cares about me. These are thoughts that often go through one's head, at least in my experience, if you're really sad or depressed or anxious even. No worries for me, just stone cold. Quote, give up on your nonsense dreams. Their words on giving up hit my ears. My despair only gets bigger. Covering the sky called hope. Oof. So the sky is hope, and they're blocking that sky out. It takes a lot of perseverance to make it through, especially if they're your loved ones, right? If they're your loved ones and they're saying these kind of things, that's really difficult. With the hands of the people beside me, I'm praying for myself to hold on, to save myself from their unkind stares. They're arguing if I'm crazy or not. I'll be somebody's clown, even if I make it through. That's what you're going to be. Stop trying to be a singer. I push myself through hearing their words. Again, perseverance. But this one, like I said, this third chunk here, this is less allegorical. This is a bit more specific. Right? Like, this is talking about lived experience, right? This is talking about your family, maybe your friends, saying these things to you, like, why are you doing this? You're hurting yourself, you're sad, you're beating yourself up. And what's it for? Are you even going to get there? Clearly they did, so joke's on you. I think what I like about the most of this, you know, you could end it and you could kind of keep it going from there, but instead of doing that, they go into this last bit and we go from like a super dark place into a bit of a lighter space, and I love that they do that. I'm going to find out where the exit is to save me from being locked in the darkness. I frantically try to run away. I'm on a Hellevator. I'm going up. I'm escaping my dark past, lighting up my dark road ahead. I run as I could forget those tedious moments. The bell of the new beginning that they've been ignoring rings. I got on my Hellevator that'll hold my hand and take me to the penthouse. Now, usually whenever I talk about like depression and sadness, usually I say that it's you know, it's like a spinning wheel in the mud or snow. I grew up around a lot of snow. It's like the first thing that pops into my mind. You know, whenever you get stuck in the snow, you can push that gas pedal as hard as you want, and quite frankly, it's gonna make it worse, honestly, because you're just making more friction and melting snow to dig the hole deeper. You're spinning those tires and just getting nowhere while making it a little bit more difficult. But also, you know, depression in the way that a lot of people think while they're going through depression is very cyclical. It's very, oh, I feel like I'm getting better, things are going great, and then like the littlest thing will go wrong and they're back down to the bottom. One of the things that you can do in therapy is, you know, point out the good stuff, because we're all kind of programmed a little bit to think more of the negative stuff. We're taught even in society to avoid like failure, even though failure is the biggest thing that can create success. Look it up, most of the successful people failed many times before they succeeded. The cool thing at the end of this is, you know, they leave us with this cool image in our head, at least for me, where we're not thinking about this in a spinning tires kind of way. We're thinking about this is an elevator. It doesn't just go down, but it can also go up to the penthouse, which is where they're at now, by the way. To me, it feels like a little bit of a liberating kind of feeling. And many times we'll do this in therapy where we'll point out, you know, I know that this bad thing happened and that's terrible, but let's think of some of the positive things that have happened. Because most of the time, like I said, they're not thinking about the positives. They're thinking about those negative things that are going on while just kind of ignoring the positive. And maybe that's something as small as I was able to wake up on time today and get out of bed. That's a positive thing, you know, I was able to get out of bed at a decent time and do what I needed to do. Let's think about that instead of, but I was still 5 minutes late. If we're talking about depression here, sometimes it's not all that it takes, but part of the solution, part of trying to get out of that funk is reframing the way that you're thinking about things. And sometimes many times that's easier said than done, even when you're not depressed, okay? Now, that's not all of a treatment. There's a lot of other things that go into it, but that is one of the components anyways. And so I personally love the fact that we ended this, like we started this whole journey in a pretty dark place, but by the end of it, we're talking about going up to the penthouse and things being okay. Tell me down below what you guys think of this. This was really good. I like this music. It is very Stray Kids. It has that popness to it, but it still has the pop with a little bit of edge to it. And I can definitely see why this song particularly set them up for so much success. That's gonna be it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching this with me. Do take care, be safe out there, wash your hands. I'll see you guys in the next video, okay? Bye.